First question, go ahead, fire away. He's burning time, burning money.
Congrats on that 2016 ESPY. Can you talk about that a little bit? I mean, that was a huge achievement.
Yeah, it was awesome. Obviously, going to the ESPYs was something different. We didn't plan on going to the ESPY going out there. I was going for the Game of Thrones premiere. But Malky Kawa was like, no, dude, you know, you got tickets to the ESPY. You might as well just go do a couple interviews, get your face out there. And me and my wife ended up going there. We sit down and we're sitting there enjoying the show. And the next thing you know, it says best fighter of the year, Demetrious Johnson. I'm like, oh shit, I won. Sweet. So it was a good experience. See all the different athletes from different sports, swimming, football, basketball. Nobody from track was there, but it was a good experience.
It sounds fun. You know, you're coming up on being able to beat a title that Anderson Silva's held for so long, having 10 title defenses. If you do this successfully, you'll have 11. Can you talk about that? Does that mean anything to you?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it means anything to any champion in the UFC. I mean, obviously, the goal for anybody as an athlete in any sport is becoming champion, you know. Obviously, for football players, they want to win the Super Bowl as many times in a row as they can. For a UFC champion, they want to win and defend the belt you know, as many times as they can consecutively. So for me to, you know, I've done 10 now. Now we're going to the, you know, landmark and uncharted territories for any man, for like fucking Star Trek, for 11. So it's very important.
How exciting a time is this?
It's a big part. It's a big exciting part. You know, obviously with the merger of WME IMG. Bringing them together. They're giving us athletes an opportunity to do different things in different roles. I got my first gig going on with the video game, some on-air talent, which I'm very excited about. A lot of people don't understand is when you're an athlete, your window of opportunity, your shelf life is very small. So you got to start thinking about branding and thinking about what's next after fighting. And I think with WME IMG, my agent Brad Slater has been helping me out a lot with that, and I'm very excited.
You and Dana White have gone back and forth, you know, in the press over the last year or so. How's their relationship now? Do you see it, you know, getting frosty once again?
We're good. We sat down and talked about two grown-ass men during UFC 214. I saw his birthday cake, very nice cake, whoever made it, and everything's fine.
How was that to be in an adversarial position with your boss when he wanted you to fight Dillashaw and that wasn't, you know, what you wanted?
I don't want to call it an adversary. You know, it's just two men in a disagreement, a lot of misunderstanding, obviously. And, you know, there's too many cooks in the kitchen when that was going down.
How would you describe on why you didn't want to fight Dillashaw and that Borg is really the opponent that you want?
Absolutely. It's always about, in my opinion, always fighting the number one contender in your division. You know, right now, Ray Borg is the number one contender in the division. They offered that to me, and, you know, we accepted that fight. Obviously, you know, that stuff's behind us now. And it was just disagreement between two parties.
Do you see yourself down the road possibly fighting Dillashaw at some point?
Well, yeah, if the money's right. Like I said, if Dillashaw was, you know, a 125er and he made the weight class and fought for the number one contendership spot, then we all wouldn't be having this conversation. But let's say he becomes a champion and the money's right, and there's not a you know, number one contender in the bantamweight division. He's the champion, and the UFC says, yeah, you can pass on line. Then I have to sit down and think about if I want to do it. The money's right. Yeah, let's make it happen. It's just like Holly Holm and Chris Cyborg right now. You know, Chris Cyborg is like, oh, she won't fight me. She goes, I'll fight you. The terms are right. Let me get some money. So it's always about negotiating. If the negotiating factors look good for me, well, it doesn't have to be Tito Dillashaw. It could be anybody at 135. If I'm going to go up there and fight, I'm going to make sure I'm making the most money I can.
Of course, and this was, I think, being panned as more of a super fight with Dillashaw. And you've said you wanted super fights, but it's not a super fight if the money's not there.
Yeah, exactly. If I'm fighting another champion, the money's not there, what difference does it make? If I was going to make the exact same pay to fight, you know, the number one contender in my division, than fight some guy who just missed out on his title shot, it's not a super fight. I mean, you guys can believe it everything you want, but I'll tell you right now, it wasn't a super fight.
Do you think all the hype surrounding this week and McGregor Mayweather is a good thing for the UFC?
Absolutely. You know, you have McGregor crossing over to the boxing fight, boxing world. And I think there's a lot of people out there who are diehard boxing fans. They don't even know what mixed martial art is. And let's hope that half people who order the pay-per-view hopefully show some of Conor McGregor's highlights of him, you know, knocking out people, and people can see it like, damn, these guys are fighting in 4-ounce gloves. holy shit, I want to go tune into that. So hopefully, percentage of those people who watch the MayMac fight, they come over to the next fight, UFC 215, and purchase the pay-per-view.
But does it, but if he doesn't have a good showing, does it hurt the brand?
I don't think so. I mean, he's fighting the best boxer in the world. He's fighting the best, defensive boxer in the world. And people are gonna be like, well, shit, what did you think was gonna happen? He fought Mayweather, or if he does have a good showing, which I believe he will. I think people are like, oh man, this MMA stuff is no joke. We should go check it out.
And if he has a good showing, do you see him coming back? I mean, because the money is in the boxing.
The money. I mean, let's be honest. The money is more in boxing. I would say boxers, McGregor Sports Entertainment, Mayweather Promotion, Triple G, Canelo Alvarez, Lomachenko, Rigondeaux. The name just goes off. Those guys have more of a say-so how much they're going to get paid. And then it's just like boxing. If, for example, if Lomachenko was going to fight, Conor McGregor, and they're like, hey, you're gonna fight Conor McGregor, we'll pay you $250,000. He says, no, I'm gonna fight him for $250,000. And they're like, oh, you're a pussy, you're scared, and he goes, no, I want more money. And you're calling me scared because I'm trying to maximize my total compensation? I think that's called a smart businessman, because we want something from this man. We want you to fight this man. That's what we want. Okay, we want you to fight, so pay me. I'll do it. I never said I wouldn't do anything. You just gotta pay me if you want me to do it.
Champ, any predictions for the fight?
Jesus, you're out of line. You just came in and cut people off. I got McGregor.
Seriously, dude.
How do you think he's going to do?
Why do you think, you said he'll have a good showing?
I think McGregor will have a good showing. The reason why is because I think if McGregor goes out there and doesn't fight him like a boxer, I think he's going to do a lot better. The reason why I like this matchup for McGregor and Mayweather is because Mayweather is not a pressure fighter. He does not push the pace. You can watch all his fights. All his opponents go to him, and he beats his opponents by patience. Conor McGregor has patience. He's always using Conor McGregor's style is he uses his upper body to move and make people miss and hits him with the his left cross. To where I can see Mayweather put himself against a rope, and Conor can just walk him down and pick his shots. And then all Conor has to do is make sure when Mayweather throws that cross, he's just got to make sure he's out of the way from it so he can deliver his left cross. So it's always about distance. A lot of people don't give Conor McGregor the option, or you guys are too blind to understand. I'm a mixed martial artist. I can tell that somebody who understands distance. The first time when I saw Conor McGregor fight, who was it? Diego Brandao. I was like, okay, let's see how he does. And he was understanding distance. I was like, okay, he understands distance. And then when he dropped him with the lateral drop, I was like, okay, Conor McGregor is evolving. And then he keeps getting better and better. And I think he prepared for this fight smart here at the UFC Performance Institution. So I don't see why he wouldn't have a good showing. It's not like if Mayweather was like a Triple G or Canelo Alvarez, who comes forward, pushes the pace, who goes body, head, body, there's my phone, to a right cross, then I'll be a little more worried about McGregor. But that's not the type of fighter Mayweather is. Mayweather is jab, cross, body, jab, cross. That's what Mayweather is. He's not.
So you're seriously saying that McGregor's going to win? You're the first person I first said that. So
I think he can win.
You're going to put your money where your mouth is, because you will be the first and the only person.
I'm not betting.
Oh.
I don't make that much money. Let's not get ourselves. Keep my money in the fucking bank. But if I had to pick somebody out of the whole entire UFC roster at 155 pounds who has the best chance to beat Mayweather, I will give it to Conor McGregor. I mean, he's good. He understands distance, and it's always about distance control. For people who, like I said, if it was a Canelo or Triple G, I would lean more towards them. But right when that fight got made between him and Mayweather, I was like, oh, it's perfect. I mean, you look at what gives Conor McGregor fits. It's someone who pushes the pace, who's going to put it on him. Now, let's say Mayweather comes out there and he's all over Conor McGregor. He's made Conor McGregor fight. They're getting a shootout, and he's dodging and ricocheting everything, punches, and he ends up knocking Conor McGregor out. Then I don't know shit about boxing.
Would you, if you were in his position, in Conor's position, would you have brought a boxing coach?
No. I agree with Conor McGregor. Why would you bring confusion? I've never brought anybody into my camp to imitate anybody I'm about to fight. And I've been successful for 10 title defenses. I've never gone out and trained with a different coach. Never went out and seek something different. You see a lot of people go to different places to try to get that, what they're looking for. This is the holy grail of camps. But, I've had losses under the AMC banner, and not once did I ever think I need to get out of here. You stay there, you fix things, and you try to make it right.
What do you think about the whole circus, the whole show? Do you enjoy it?
Yeah, I think it was funny. I think watching the UFC embedded, and I think watching the All Access, it was definitely it was definitely enjoyable.
Now that's not the only game in town. Did you plan on attending the Big Free Championships?
No, I'm not.
You're not a basketball guy?
I've been to basketball games. I just fall asleep. I'm actually going to support the Seattle Storms this Sunday. So it's hard for me, man. I mean, I have a very limited amount of time to do what I want in my free time. Being married with kids. So when I have that free time, I choose to play video games or watch Game of Thrones or Ballers.
Or Power.
I don't watch Power. I ain't got time to see this man run a strip club, just run all these drugs everywhere. He doing bad things. He got enough money. He just needs to stop. So,
what did you think of the last episode of Game of Thrones?
I loved it. It's kind of anticlimactic just because I've been watching Berserk, a little more dark anime, and so every single episode you're watching in Berserk, it's kind of very just pinpoint, like it's just blowing up point. But hell, the Night King, what a fucking arm though, right? He just lined that shit up and got that dragon out.
Did you see the dragon going down? Did you think that happened?
Yeah, did I think it was gonna happen? Well, I didn't think it was gonna happen, but it happened, and now he's got an ice dragon. So they got a fucking ice dragon. I wanted to post on Twitter like, they got a fucking ice dragon, and we were like, spoilers, boo! But they got an ice dragon now, so it's gonna be good.
Going back to Dana, you said you got with Dana at the end of the month.
Yeah.
What was said to kind of like mend fences, or maybe because in the press it might have seemed worse, but it seems like it's all a negotiation.
Press always makes everything worse. But like I said, we basically sat down and discussed and got on the same level. Out of all the years I've been champion for the UFC, I've maybe had probably the least encounter with Dana White out of all the champions. I've probably gone through this door. I have no idea. But typically how me, Dana White conversation will go is I'll come up, I'll win, fight, he goes, congrats champ, peace out, I'm gone. I go home. Next time I hear from him is after I win my next fight. And that's it. So now we're on more of a talking base level to where if I have a problem with something, I'm gonna let him know. If he has a problem with me, he's gonna let me know. Then we can sit down and discuss things before then they get out to the media, and then we can actually, do stuff in front of each other in man to man instead of, now I guess you can make fights and sign battle agreements on Twitter now, but I just don't like that way it goes.
You mentioned your agent's Brad Slater, correct?
Yeah.
Now, he's one of William Morris IMG's top agents, so obviously you're in a pretty good position as far as negotiations go.
Yeah. Yeah, but
with them owning Zuffa.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's Brad Slater does more of my my video game branding and all that stuff. To when it comes to Makikawa, first round management does more of the dealing with Dana White. So in the beginning, before people to understand this, why I brought in Makikawa is that for my whole entire career, it was me and Matt doing all the managing. Right. You know what I mean? So you have a coach who's also my manager who's doing all that stuff, and it was literally taking time away from me focusing on training what I need to be doing. And so when it came to this boiling point, we're like, you know what? Tyron Woodley is a good friend of mine. He's also with Makikawa. He speaks nothing but good words for Makikawa. John Jones also with Makikawa. And so, I've been knowing Malky since 2012. He was there when I won the belt. He was like, hey, Demetrious Johnson, congratulations. Here you go. Wish you the best in your thing. So with that being said, that's why we decided to bring on Makikawa, is because now me and Matt can focus on what we do best, which is focus on fighting, and then Maki can focus on dealing with the UFC because he's dealing with them all the time.
Now, you may or may not have good answers, but you mentioned John Jones. What do you think about the fact of his failed drug test and how it may affect his career here at the UFC?
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's very unfortunate. I give John Jones the benefit of the doubt that obviously I just cannot see John Jones going, look, here we go again. I just can't see that happening. Obviously, you have the allegations of people saying that he was set up and all that stuff, but from my point of view is that it's very hard to fail a drug test. It's very, very, very hard. Okay, I do not take any supplements. I don't care how many days you train or how many hours you train a day. If you're training 10 or 15 hours a fucking day, you need a new coach. I'm sorry. Nobody should be training for 15 hours a day. And if you are training 15 hours a day, you need to hire a dietitian that's going to feed you what you need to be able to supplement, so you don't have to go out and take processed things to help you get by. That's what the supplement is for. It's for you who can't make it to the gym and get a protein shake or whatever. That's what it's for. But how drug tests go, if you don't know, USADA comes out, you whip out your dick, you piss in one cup, you got a cup full of urine, there's A sample, B sample, you pour some in A sample, you pour some in the B sample, you put on a tight lock seal. The only thing that can open it is a laser machine, I've been told, in Utah, Salt Lake City, which is USADA headquarters. And if the A sample is contaminated, most likely the B sample is going to be contaminated. Now, if the B sample comes back negative, then that means somebody tampered with the A supplement. So if somebody tampered with the A supplement, the only person who's dealing with that sample is me and the USADA guy. That's the only people who are dealing with it, unless you have some guy who's in the back doing this in it. Then you have somebody, you have, you know, a spy in your gym. But it's very hard to fill a drug test. Now when I get drug tests, I don't even fucking look at the results because I already know I'm fucking good. So,
what do you think of Malky's? He said today that he thought that it was unfair for how they released information and that they should let
totally
the B sample be come to fruition first.
You know, that's USADA's protocol, but I agree with Malky about letting the athlete find out first what's going on in his career, then TMZ breaking the news. You know, that, and it's happened to me in the past on things that's going on in my career that I have no say-so about it. So, with that being said, that's USADA's protocol. They always do. They want to let people know, and because I think the reason why they do that, to answer your question, is that they let everybody know that the A sample came back positive. Then John Jones has, or anybody has, the right to go out to Utah, to the actual lab and facility, to see the B sample be open, and then test right in front of it. Because when our samples go to the lab, nobody has no idea whose sample is coming in. We're all marked by a unanimous number. So when I get my sample, it might say 266199. And then that's what it is in all the things. And it goes to the lab, the person gets the number 26119, they test it, okay, this one's positive. Whoever 26119 is, they test positive for anabolic steroids. Person goes back, okay, that was X, Y, and Z. X, Y, and Z, you test positive, you need to come down to Salt Lake City if you want to appeal, it's your choice. Okay, come on down. Then this is your number, right? You remember you said this is your number? Perfect. It's you.
And isn't it true that the collection cup it's sealed itself when they show up?
It's sealed.
So you see them unbreak the seal.
I break the seal.
You break it.
I break the seal. Like, they hand me the box, I grab the box, I open it, a dude follows me to the bathroom, or if I'm a female will follow me to the bathroom, pull it out, pee, fill it up, set my hands, don't even wash my hands. I go to the front of the USADA cop, or what do you want to call it? Stop, okay. Stop, okay, put those lids, and they don't touch anything. It's just you who's handling it. Now, if I don't know how anybody else does it, but when I do it, it's me, USADA person, my wife's off doing whatever, the kids are running around. I touch my own samples, and I lock it up super tight, and then they check it, make sure it's locked. They put it in the bag. I watch them put it in the bag. They seal it up, they put it in the bag, and if that seal's broken, then it's been tampered with. And my seal so far hasn't been broken. It's good.
One time, Alan Joban was at our place. We were doing the podcast. USADA shows up. Do they always have two people with them?
They always have two people. Always have two people, whether it's a female, male. Obviously, my USADA is a woman. She's a girl. Very nice woman. Love you to death. And they always bring a guy because she can't come in here, and I don't care if she did or not, but she doesn't come in here and watch me pee in a cup. My wife doesn't care either. And then typically it's two. Then if they bring a blood officer, there'll be somebody there to take your blood and do it because they want to have, you know, witnesses, I guess you could say.
How bad do you feel for Danny, considering he has to go through this all over again?
You know, it's. Can I say to him like, oh, poor Daniel? I'm not thinking that. I think it does suck. It's unfortunate for he has to go through this twice. It sucks. The whole situation sucks because who knows what's going to happen now? Who knows? What if it does come back? What if it is a tainted supplement that he was just taking his normal supplements that he always takes and that one just came tested positive? You know, what do you do? You know what I mean? So it's definitely a hard situation to be in. But like I said, I just don't see, you know, and people might say I'm naive. They might say, DJ, you stupid as hell. I mean, but I just can't see somebody like that doing it. Even the first time when he was like, you know, I got pop and it was dick pills, you know, and trying to get it up, all that stuff. But at the same time, at that point, I was like, it wasn't him, man. He could have done that. But I just don't know what to think anymore. But I'm giving a bit of doubt that hopefully he's taking something he didn't unwillingly take it.
Demetrious, you have your own fight coming up on September 9th.
Yeah.
You alluded to spoilers earlier. Can you give us a spoiler for your own fight? Can you tell us, how you think it's going to go down?
I think it's going to be a great fight. You know, Ray Borg is no joke. He's a tough guy coming out of Great Jackson's camp. He's been in the UFC. I always look at this as, I always look at myself as the older generation taking on the newer generation. You know, there was a point in time in my career to where I came in and I was fighting the older generation. I was fighting Miguel Torres, I was fighting Kid Yamamoto, Dominic Cruz, me, who were of the same generation. But now you have this new generation with Sergio Pettis, Ray Borg. These guys are 23, 24 years old. Let me tell you right now, in 7 fucking years, my black ass is not going to be here. I'll be 37 years old. If I'm still fighting for UFC at 37 years old, I should watch what I say. I'm not getting paid enough, but if I'm 37 and I'm healthy, I still might want to fight. So I see you guys be taking on the younger generation. I'm looking forward to it.
Do you have a timeline of how long you want to fight for?
I give myself 5 more years. 36 is when I want to stop.
People were speaking earlier about the conversation with Dana. It's almost become a rite of passage at this point for the champion to have some sort of friction with Dana. You learned from it. What advice would you give to the other champions, the new ones that are up and coming, on how to really interact with the promoter and use it to spin the career positive?
It's kind of hard. Well, obviously, spin your career positive, make the right decision, don't take supplements, and don't fuck up. But other than that, this is something I'm still trying to get used to and new to, because at the one time when remember I killed for the WEC days where my coach says you just show up and fight. That's all you got to do. But now there's a whole thing about promotion, doing a lot of media obligations, speaking clear, speaking intelligently, saying the right political things, all that stuff. So I'm still learning, and it's a process for me as I'm going. So for how to be a successful champion, just don't do anything wrong out in public or media, and don't fuck up.
How do you kind of sum up that whole scenario that happened? The TJ fight not happening, all this. Like, how do you look back on it and assess it?
I moved past it. I don't look back on it at all. I don't regret anything I said or did. It is in the past. Like I tell people all the time, if things keep going, like I'm 31 years old, and I know how TJ is, and it wasn't specifically about, people keep branding his name to the whole situation. If it was Aljamain Sterling, if it was, Jimmy Rivera, if it was fucking, I don't know, Thomas Almeida, whoever it was, if it was a 135 whose things going to come down and skip the line, it wasn't going to happen. As long as I had any say so to do it. So, but yeah, I don't regret anything. We moved past it. He's got a matchup, I got a matchup, and let's say he wins, we can match up and fight down the road. Let's say he loses, and he's like, I'm good on 125, he fights for number contendership, then we're fighting. So it's not like this is the end of the road for that fight. I mean, I'm sure it can happen down the road, as long as everything's right. You know what I mean? Like, if he came down and made weight and fought and became number contender, then it'll be good. But let's say they're like, hey, we want you to do this. Okay, let's pay me some money. So what's that?
I know you moved on, you have this fight now.
Yeah.
Do you look at it as a punishment that you didn't get that Seattle moment for this break the record and everything else, that the UFC said fine, then we're not gonna let you fight Seattle?
No, it wasn't about that. See, that's the thing that people don't understand, is that there's so many way more puzzle pieces that was going on that you guys don't understand. It wasn't like, okay, fine, you're not gonna fight in Seattle. It's not how it was. Right.
So you don't look at that at all. It's just like that was something that maybe we created that wasn't really a thing.
Yeah, you can say that. I mean, obviously it was a thing, but there's so many different analytical things that are going on to where they're like, hey, if we make this fight 1 week before, what are we, 24th? So I would have fought last Saturday, right before Conor McGregor and Mayweather. Dude, the only other news that's getting way more press than the Conor and MayMac is the unfortunate John Jones. So their analysts are like, dude, it's gonna get killed. You expect people to drop another $60 on UFC 214, UFC 215, and then right behind that drop another $100. On top of it, also pay $90 for the DirecTV bill. You're asking for a lot from a consumer standpoint. So the analyticals, they made their choice, and here we are now.